Today, we come together not just to say goodbye, but to reflect on the life of a man who meant so much to so many, John Sykes. His journey was not one of loud proclamations or grandiose achievements, but one of quiet strength, kindness, and an unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. As we remember John, we must ask ourselves, what is the true measure of a life well lived? Is it wealth? Fame? Or is it something deeper, something more meaningful? This is John's story, a story of a life that touched countless others. John Sykes was born on a cold winter morning in a modest town where life moved at a slower pace, and every neighbor knew the other. He was the youngest of 3 siblings, born into a family that struggled to make ends meet, but was rich in love and values. John's parents, Martha and Edward Sykes, instilled in him the importance of honesty, hard work, and compassion from an early age. Despite the family's financial hardships, John's childhood was filled with warmth and lessons that would shape his character. As a boy, John was known for his curiosity and his heart of gold. Teachers often spoke about his willingness to help others. One story that stood out was when John, at just 10 years old, gave away his only winter coat to a classmate who didn't have one. When his mother asked why he did it, John simply replied, "I'll be fine, but he needs it more than I do." This was John, selfless even as a child. It's not what you have, but what you give that defines you. These were words John lived by, even in his earliest years. As John grew older, life began to throw challenges his way. He worked part-time jobs after school to support his family, often sacrificing his own comforts. Yet he never complained. Instead, he embraced these experiences as opportunities to grow stronger. His friends recalled him as someone who was always there to offer advice or lend a helping hand. During high school, John volunteered at a local shelter, spending his weekends serving meals to the less fortunate. It was during these formative years that John discovered his true calling, helping others. John once confided in a close friend, "I don't want to just live. I want to leave a mark. I want people to remember that I tried to make a difference." This sense of purpose would guide him throughout his life. John's career began humbly, working as an apprentice in a local workshop. While the work was physically demanding and the hours long, John's determination never wavered. He was known for his meticulous attention to detail and his willingness to go the extra mile. As the years went by, John climbed the professional ladder, eventually becoming a respected leader in his field. But John's success was never about personal gain. He believed in uplifting others and often used his position to mentor younger colleagues. One of his most impactful projects was a community housing initiative. John didn't just oversee the project from behind a desk. He was out in the field, hammering nails and painting walls alongside volunteers. The initiative provided affordable housing for over 300 families. "Every person deserves a place to call home," John had said during the project's inauguration. His actions turned those words into reality. John wasn't just a boss. He was a leader. He inspired us to be better, not just in our work, but in our lives. He made us believe in the power of kindness and community, shared one of his coworkers. John was not just a professional success. He was a devoted husband, a loving father, and a loyal friend. He met his wife, Mary, during a local charity event. Their love story was one of mutual respect and shared values. Mary often said, "John had a way of making everyone feel special, but with me, he made me feel like the luckiest woman in the world." Their marriage was a partnership built on love, trust, and a shared commitment to helping others. John was a hands-on father who believed in teaching his children life lessons through actions rather than words. His children recall fond memories of family camping trips, where John would teach them the importance of resilience, teamwork, and appreciating nature. Dad always said that life is about the little things, the moments you spend with the people you love, his eldest daughter shared. John's favorite tradition was Sunday dinners, where the entire family would gather around the table to share stories, laughter, and gratitude. These dinners were a testament to John's belief in the power of connection and togetherness. John's kindness wasn't limited to his family and friends. It extended to strangers and his community at large. He was known for his random acts of generosity, whether it was paying for someone's groceries, helping a neighbor fix their roof, or simply offering a listening ear. One particularly touching story came from a single mother who shared how John had helped her find a job and provided her with resources to get back on her feet. "He didn't just help me, he gave me hope," she said tearfully. John's impact was like a ripple in a pond, spreading far and wide, touching lives in ways he might never have imagined. At John's funeral, it was clear just how many lives he had touched. The room was filled with friends, family, colleagues, and even strangers who had been impacted by his kindness. One of his closest friends delivered a heartfelt eulogy, saying, "John didn't live for himself. He lived for others. And that's why his legacy will live on. Every time we choose kindness, every time we lend a hand, we are honoring John." As the ceremony concluded, attendees lit candles in his memory, a powerful symbol of the light he brought into the world. The room was filled with a profound sense of loss, but also gratitude for having known someone as extraordinary as John. John's life reminds us of other figures who changed the world through small, consistent acts of kindness. Like Mahatma Gandhi's belief in being the change you wish to see in the world, John lived this philosophy every day. However, what made John unique was his humility. He didn't seek recognition or applause. He simply wanted to make a difference. And in doing so, he left a legacy that will inspire generations to come. John's contributions often went unnoticed by the wider world, but those who were lucky enough to cross paths with him understood his quiet courage. He was the type of person who would stand up for what was right, even when it was difficult. A neighbor once shared a story of how John defended a local shop owner who was being unfairly treated. Without hesitation, John stepped in, not for recognition, but because he believed in fairness and justice. These quiet acts of courage define John's character. He wasn't driven by the need for validation, but by a simple, unwavering moral compass. His bravery wasn't loud. It was steady, deliberate, and deeply impactful. This humility, paired with his integrity, left an indelible mark on everyone he met. Beyond his immediate circle, John's influence extended into the lives of those who never even met him. Whether it was through his charitable donations, community initiatives, or mentorship, his efforts set a precedent for others to follow. The shelter he once volunteered at as a teenager named a new wing after him, calling it the Sykes Sanctuary, as a tribute to his years of service and generosity. John's story is a testament to the power of one individual to inspire change. It's a reminder that legacies are not built in moments of glory, but in the everyday choices we make to uplift others. John didn't just leave behind memories. He left behind a blueprint for kindness, courage, and selflessness that we can all strive to emulate. John's compassion was not just seen in grand gestures, but in the smallest, most heartfelt ways. He had an uncanny ability to notice when someone was struggling, even if they didn't say a word. Whether it was leaving a home-cooked meal on a sick neighbor's doorstep or writing handwritten notes of encouragement to friends going through tough times, John's actions spoke louder than words ever could. He believed that even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple out to create profound change, and his life proved that philosophy true every single day. John's life was a masterclass in how to live with purpose and intention. He taught us that the true measure of success isn't found in titles or possessions, but in the relationships we nurture and the kindness we extend to others. His ability to see the good in people, to forgive easily, and to lend a hand without expecting anything in return are lessons that resonate deeply. John didn't just tell us how to live a meaningful life. He showed us through his actions, leaving behind a legacy that challenges us to be better, love harder, and give more freely. John Sykes' story is a reminder that a life well lived is not measured by material wealth, but by the lives we touch and the love we give. His legacy challenges us to ask ourselves, What are we doing to make the world a better place? As we say goodbye to John, let us carry forward his values of kindness, generosity, and unwavering compassion. How will you honor his memory? What small act of kindness will you commit to today? John's story is not over. It lives on in each of us. Let's make it a story worth telling.